let's talk about the stick. We need to talk about sizing, terminology, etc., because we want to make goaltenders understand the stick is the best weapon you have. If I take Nathan's stick here, let's quickly go through some of the names for the pieces on it, the location. From here to here, that's the paddle. We call this the shoulders of the stick, the shaft, and the knob. And of course, we've got the blade, heel, and toe. Nowadays, we have here a rocker heel, and that's going to curve when it moves. Now, I never like to have any tape or anything here, but that's individual preference. And the reason being is I wanted to have a massive ability to get that poke check in and out quickly. Anything on here could resist that. Notice, we don't have a big knob on the stick, and it's not black. It's white because using black tape is illegal in the NHL, 2-minute penalty. And most guys don't shoot like this. They put the palm over top of the knob. And that's why if you look at a forward stick, you'll see they don't have the big knob. Now, if you like it, that's great. Individual preference. I like the clean shaft and the knob not too big. So let's talk about sizing. Let's zero in and talk about overall shaft length. Here's what we do. We put the stick in front of his face here, and you see where that knob goes? We want the stick here when you're in your skates. If you have it too tall, you're gonna have a tough time handling the puck. Here's ideal, and if you look at Carey Price, you can see a million pictures online of that's how NHL guys size their stick. Now, of course, you can cut this. That's an old myth from the stores, sporting goods stores, that you can't cut it. Yes, you can. Now, paddle height. So let's have you drop down in your butterfly. So when we size the paddle, we want to size it in your butterfly. And what we want to make sure we're doing is if we have too tall of a paddle, your hand will be up here and you'll have a big blocker side hole, or you'll have to have it ramped up like this, which is not ideal. NHL guys surprisingly have a very small paddle on their stick, so they can keep it almost vertical when they're in the butterfly. So when you're sizing your stick, you size the paddle in your butterfly at the store, and when you get your stick sized, make sure you always bring in the one you like to get a backup stick the same size. Now stay down there for a second. And you can see over time, Nathan has grown, and we've got different shaft lengths, and we've got different paddle heights. And a word about paddles. They're going to be different depending on what brand name you have. Obviously, if you stick in the same brand name, whether it's a 25-inch, 24-inch paddle, they're going to be similar. As soon as you switch to another brand name, the paddle height's going to be different. The last thing we want to talk about with the stick is make sure we understand the purpose of the tape. Now, a lot of people in the old days with wooden sticks would think the tape is to protect it. Well, if I put some tape on his forehead, took the helmet off, and just hit him with the hammer, the tape is not going to protect you from the violence of a puck. The tape does one thing and one thing only. The tape creates friction on the puck when you pass it, so you can spin it and make those nice saucer passes. Now, when I played, I went through 6 sticks a year, and that's pretty common nowadays. So I wouldn't want to have the stick bill of the Toronto Maple Leafs because it's in the thousands. We're going to work on a tight centering pass. This happens a lot, and this save is made with intelligent anticipation. He's going to be right here. He's going to catch a pass from me. So in the game when this happens, you've got to be taking quick looks to know that he's there. And the moment the puck leaves my stick, that's when you got to get there. So to be clear, if you're hugging the post there and the puck is already to him and you're still back on the post, it's going to be a bad day. As soon as it's off my stick, you got to get there, and we'll maybe move him a little bit up to here. Close up on the first shot, and if there's a rebound, let's battle and compete and do full battles on these rebounds. Here we go. Nice try. Rebound, rebound, play it. No goal. He's down. This save is made in that first inch. We're always taking quick looks to know where guys are. That's a good save. Try to one-touch these last 3. 2 more. All right, last one. Whoa, one more. Pass. One more. Good stick, good active stick. Let's reload up on the other side. We'll do the other side, and then that's it for the videos. Boards, let me clear all these pucks out of the net here. Oh, I guess there's just one. Not a lot. Same thing, except for one change. He's on his forehand, so he's going to have a lot stronger attack at the net, more accurate, with more power. Nicely done. Great feet, great feet. Close. Get out and get down. 3 more. Attaboy, Boards. Awesome stuff there. 2 more. Last one. This is a money shot. Can of corn, bag of chips. Thanks, kid. All right, today I want to talk about goalie coaching and the state of goalie coaching around the world. I think we live in a great age with the internet, Instagram, YouTube. There's a million great resources for goaltenders of all ages if they want to learn about goaltending. There's a million drills online. There's a million YouTube channels. Some are actually really good. And I think it's a great time to be a young goaltender. When I was a kid, we never saw ourselves on video. We had no resources to learn about goaltending besides maybe the odd paper manual that you'd find from time to time. There were no goalie clinics. So I think nowadays goalie coaching is exceptional. I know from my research online and watching, there's a bazillion great goaltending coaches, great goalie schools. You know the common names. The great camps like Eli Wilson, Elkin, Mitch Korn. There's a ton of great goalie coaches out there. So at the end of the day, I think right now, it's great for people. We can learn a lot about goaltending. But I think there's one weakness. I want to dive into that a little bit deeper. And I think we have to talk about discernment and understanding credentials and the quality of what we're trying to learn and teach. We first talk about this discussion. We see tons of skill-based stuff online. We see cool drills. We see a bunch of instant, amazing stuff to watch. But I think we sort of do a disservice to young goaltenders because I don't think we're doing a great job of creating successful goalies. Here's what I mean. Most of what we learn online is about skills, technical stuff, very few things about how to actually play the game. We see great drills where goalie moves here, goalie moves there, makes this save, head trajectory, all the great words, all this stuff. And goalies get very good at doing drills. And I think we're creating a generation of future goalie coaches. And by that I mean goalies that go to a million lessons, goalies that get trained a lot on the technical things, catching long pucks, looking pretty. And I don't think you see a lot of pretty goalies in the NHL. The guys that make the NHL are actually able to play the game. Take a look at Las Vegas, Robin Lehner. Probably the most awkward, unorthodox goalie you've ever seen, but a great goalie because he knows how to deliver the skills to play at the NHL level. And I think that's the biggest weakness for me with goalie coaching now, is we're all about creating driving range goalies. Goalies that can do the drills really well, and they look good in privates. They look good in practice, but at the end of the day, they have their tail between their legs because they didn't make the team they wanted. They don't translate in a lot of cases the drills and the skills they have into actual gameplay. So one of the core weaknesses I believe is out there right now is that we've got goalies that don't know how to play the game, read the play, connect the dots, understanding tendencies, understanding cause and effect, intelligent anticipation. And I don't think in my mind most goalies teach that or have the capability to teach that. A lot of goalie coaches are great at delivering skills and cool drills and saying the right words, but maybe if they don't have the frame of reference, they don't know how to teach how to play it in a real game scenario. Now, doesn't mean you have to have played in the NHL to be a great goalie coach. And I bring this back to people all the time. Mitch Korn was actually a bag of hammers as a goaltender. Played Kent State, probably third or fourth goalie there, but one of the best goalie coaches that ever lived. He found a way to teach me and all the people he's coached how to actually play the game and take the skills that we have and apply them in a game situation. So as a young goalie coach, try not to be a skills only guy. Learn the drills that you see online, learn from your goalie coaches that you had growing up, but spend more time on critical study of scoring chances, understanding why things go in, why they don't. I think we need to stop spending so much time refining skills. Of course you need the skills, but proportionally you need to be spending a way bigger chunk of your time developing your ability to read the play. How do you do that? Whether you're a beer leaguer, whether you're a 9-year-old, whether you're a parent of a goalie, here's what you have to do. You have to start critically studying game film. Like tonight there's a Leaf game. Don't watch it as a fan. Break the game down using the technology that you have at home. You have the ability with PVRs to pause, rewind. You can go online to nhl.com and watch the goals, watch the saves, and instead of cheering on a great save or a great goal, start backing it up 3 or 4 steps on the line rush. What type of line rush was it? Was there backside support? Was the guy open away from the puck? What hand was that man? And start understanding why pucks are going in or why goalies are making saves, and trying to be a predictor with intelligence when you're looking at these clips, and that will carry over to the game. So at the end of the day, I think the state of goalie coaching is great. I think there's a lot of great skill development happening, but there's a huge vacuum when it comes to goalies being able to actually deliver and have deliverables with those skills in game situations. So let's fix it. Start studying the game, and let's stop working on skills so much. Let's work on understanding how to deliver those skills. That's your job. I often think about modern goaltending, and I wish when I was a kid I knew what goalies get taught now. How to get up with the correct leg, how to handle the puck with possession instead of trying to fire it off the glass all the time, how to play a controlled game, understanding your box control, controlling your position, understanding movement well down, RVH, all these great technical inputs that are in the game right now. But I'm also struck when I look at the modern game, and I'm not screaming at clouds right now, I'm not the old guy, get off my lawn, but I'm going to tell you now some key things I think modern goaltenders are really missing out on, and things that I think modern goalies are really doing incorrectly or not enough. Number 1, stick shyness. There's a huge resistance, I believe, with goalies now, maybe because they're not taught or their goalie coaches don't know how to teach it, but we don't cut passes well enough. We let cuttable passes come through tight, trying to make heroic backdoor saves. I don't think we're spending enough time developing our puck handling ability. It's a huge proportion. In my mind, it's a third of the game. Puck handling control is equal in importance to me to rebound control, positional control. So I think one weakness in the modern game, goaltending-wise, is we don't spend enough time developing and understanding the importance of active, precise, intelligent use of our stick. A second area in the modern game that I've really noticed relates somewhat to the stick, but I would call this more of a rebound control issue, and that relates to low shots flat on the ice. We spend a lot of time now letting pucks hit our pads on clear, unobstructed shots. So I think a weakness in the modern game is we don't rely upon our stick to elevate pucks into the corner enough, and we more often let them hit our pads, which cause dangerous rebounds. I think a third area that when I'm talking to young goaltenders and when I see goaltending now that is a weakness in the game would be how goaltenders handle adversity. We didn't have the luxury back in the day of good coaches that weren't screaming at us and swearing and all that negative stuff, which I don't wish upon any goaltenders. But right now, I think goaltenders really struggle with duress and negativity when things aren't going their way, how they can handle it when the going gets tough. And I think that's the best way to describe it. I don't think the average goaltender now really has a skill set to manage the negativity. Of course, there's guys that can do it, but I think that's an area that you can understand and improve upon, growing your ability to manage the negative with your mindset. Negative stuff is going to happen. Politics, cutting, nepotism, not making the team you want, coach not playing you right. Here's the mindset shift I want you to have. Instead of getting upset about it, welcome it. When things don't go your way, you don't get treated right, coach doesn't talk to you correctly, you don't get played right, you don't get played on the level you deserve, welcome it, thrive on it, enjoy it, make that passion, of negativity become your fuel for your motivational fire. You don't want to have an easy, greased up journey to the higher levels because you're a weak, untempered athlete. You want the butt kicking, you want the negativity, you want to get treated unfairly because that's what builds a mentally strong, ironclad goaltender. That's an area that's a weakness, make it a strength. Another area that I look at in modern goaltending that I think we can do a better job at is being better internalizing why things are happening. A lot of time goalies blame outside factors. The D didn't cover the guy in the rebound. The D didn't clear the front of the net out. I didn't see the puck. There's a lot of blaming outside factors. Now, obviously, there's a lot of stuff that happened as goalies. I've let in more goals than all of you watchers combined. And I love to think maybe I could blame it on somebody else. But at the end of the day, make it about you, because that's how there's growth in your game. If you always blame, I got screened, my D didn't do this, you're never going to fix the issue. You're going to mask the issue. So if I gave up a screen goal, I wouldn't blame my D for not pushing the guy out of the way. I got to be better at finding the puck through the screen. So I think another weakness that we can be better at is actually taking ownership for why things go in, zeroing in on what the problem is, and coming up with a plan of action and a scope and sequence of activities to fix the weakness. That's how you become a great goalie, not blaming it on other people. I think a final thing to talk about with modern goaltending today, and I think it's athletes in general of all sports, and I think it maybe even applies to the workforce too, is I honestly believe as much passion as parents have for their young athletes, I think there's a problem where parents are almost too kid glove with their kids, with their young athletes. Johnny gets up 5 goals, doesn't get to play the next game. Parents are all on the coach. Not fair, it's not this, it's not that. He likes the other kid better. I think honestly, as much as we love and we have empathy for our own kids, parents need to step back. I know you want to advocate for your kid. I know you want to make sure your kid gets a fair shake and your kid doesn't get treated unfairly. I'm not talking about over-the-line abuse and stuff like that. I'm talking about just general athletic principles. Coaches are going to be hard on kids. Coaches aren't going to play people fairly. That's life. That's in the workforce. As tough as it is for you to manage how negative it feels and how much you hate it when you feel your kid going through struggle, as a parent, we also need to step back and welcome the struggle. We don't want our kids to hate hockey and quit because things aren't going well, but we don't want to play into it by saying, yeah, the coach is an idiot, the coach isn't playing, it's unfair. You think you're helping your kid's ego, but you're doing the opposite. You're creating a kid that buys into their not getting treated fairly symptom, the syndrome of not getting treated fairly. You welcome it. You don't want it there all the time, but you're going to have a much stronger athlete in your family if you just strive to not get into that game of blaming the team in front of them or how the coach treated your kid unfairly. At the end of the day, every kid I've ever coached in 30 years, a parent will say to me at some time, the coach wasn't fair to my kid. We need to get over that. It's not going to build a great athlete, and it's not going to build a strong, character-based, living, human being citizen.